Well, hello, everybody.
Yo, yo.
Hello.
Happy whatever day you watch this on. And welcome.
Let's say Saturday, because you're catching our Bet the Rent, which is back today.
Yes, it's Bet the Rent, and it's Sports and Spaghetti, and we are back with episode 74. And for the first time in a long time, we have Bet the Rent. But also for the first time in a long time, Anthony and Nick, we have just a dish to try.
Just a dish.
There's no gimmick this week. It's not that we copped out and said, let's just make a regular item. We've never made this item before, and this is our show.
I've wanted to make it for a very long time.
Yeah. This is
We're back to the roots.
Yeah, back to the roots of this show.
And it's quite literally sports and spaghetti today.
Yeah. Why is that?
Why is that? So today, I felt like making something a little gourmet, something you might order at a restaurant, pay $30 for if it's on the menu.
Yes.
What I've made today is a nice pappardelle with braised beef ragu.
Oh, yes. What a beautiful thing. I'm not going to lie and tell you I haven't tried it yet, okay? I tried it. I did try it. Anthony stopped over for a spell to make the pasta. So it would be fresh for us to try.
Very well.
I haven't had it with the pasta yet, but I did try the ragu, and it is so good.
I don't know what any of those words mean.
The pappardelle is the type of pasta.
Oh, okay.
Which, Chris, what does that now mean? We found that out.
Anthony almost nailed the meaning without knowing what it was. It literally means wide strip of pasta, pappardelle.
Oh, okay.
So it's pasta. It's in the spaghetti family.
So it's like a fettuccine?
It's a thick fettuccine.
It's a wider fettuccine.
I see.
This is the Livy Dunn of fettuccines.
Here we go with Livy Dunn again. You know, she makes an appearance like every episode now.
I could have said Tate McRae, but
Take
not
your
hockey.
pick.
It's not hockey season.
Okay, almost. We're knocking on September, but anyway, yes. So we have the ragu to try.
Yes,
and I do not mean traditional.
Yeah, I didn't think
Ragu.
so.
So ragu in this case, it's a sauce typically made with meat, onions, tomato puree, red wine, served with pasta. There's no red wine in this. I did beef broth instead.
Is there a particular reason why, or you just didn't have any wine? Or?
Didn't have it on me. Didn't want to go buy it. Can't get it at the grocery store, so no wine. No wine for you.
That's very good.
Thank
Very
you.
nice.
So back behind you in that, we forgot the cheese.
We have the fake cheese.
So back behind you in that purple container, that is for you and Chris to try. That is your pappardelle with braised beef ragu. So the only way to serve it, I would say, rip up a couple pieces of the basil that's right on top of it, throw that in there, and then use some of the fake cheese.
So ragu literally now I'm interested because we looked up pappardelle. Hey, Nick, look at no free sponsorships, eh? You're wearing it. It's on the basket. What do we do?
I don't need a warrant out for.
All right, maybe I'll get them to sponsor us. How about that?
What do we do?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, brought to you by SNS.
Pay for the groceries.
So I looked up the definition of ragu, and I thought I knew what it meant, and I did, and it means meat sauce. So you see how that differs from a tomato sauce?
Yeah, it looks disgusting. I'm not gonna lie.
No. Nothing about that looks disgusting.
You gotta mix it though.
Bro, that sauce looks nasty.
No.
You gotta mix it, brother.
It's called a meat sauce. It's a meat It will probably be better without that, but that's just my...
Yeah, I brought that because that's
snobby
all
opinion.
I had.
That's my snob Parmesan.
That's all I had. Didn't want to stop for a block.
Pappardelle is... I want to go on record in saying, aside from... like the normal shaped pastas that you get that cost less, like shells and wheels and gemelli, which is Sabrina's favorite, and cavatappi, which is her other favorite. Pappardelle is my favorite pasta ever.
I think it's up there for me because every time my family ever made homemade pasta, it was in the style of a pappardelle.
That's why, because it has more of you get more of that egginess. Mm-hmm. From the dough, more of the semolina and egg
it
together.
It smells really good in here.
It smells so good, man.
Has Sabrina had the zeet?
She's had zeet. She ate rigatons tonight. She had rigatons. They take a
I
long
love
time to
ziti.
cook, but I love rigatoni.
Has she had cavatelli?
Oh, yeah. She's had them all. Sabrina loves gamelli, though. She asks it for it. So when whatever's on sale, I ask her, what kind do you want? And almost always it's gamelli and then cavatappi. Avatappi. Or gamelli. But those are her two favorite. She likes wheels. She does shells, although I get nervous with shells because they're kind of slippery-ish. But shells are my favorite shape. But pappardelle is the best tasting.
So, Chris, why don't we express and rip up some of that basil? Give it a nice little garnish.
Let's express. Please hold one moment. I will mute my mic so it doesn't make a bang.
It made a bang anyway.
Oh,
And that's fresh from the garden. I picked it.
fresh from my garden.
So what's in the sauce?
I'll get there. I want you to try it first.
I want to know what's
There's
in it first.
nothing dangerous in the sauce.
No,
It just
it's
looks
nothing-
gross.
Well, it's stewed, not stewed, but it's a braised piece of beef. I used what did I use? I used London broil because that was on sale at Stop and Shop, which we will get into why I cooked this as well and how it's not hard for everybody to do this. So it's
It's an Anthony.
onion, garlic, crushed tomato, a can of regular tomatoes, a little bay leaf, a little thyme, and salt, pepper, red pepper. That's it.
It's not that complex. If you're watching this, the gist of our episode is that it's not hard to cook like a chef, like Anthony just did. And I haven't tried it. Nick's going to eat it before I do. But I tried the ragu, and it truly, I'm not just saying it for the views. I'm not just saying it to raise you up higher. It really does taste like what you get at a restaurant. In fact, there was a restaurant that Melissa and I ate at in Brookfield, Pulcinella, it's called. I don't know what that word means, but Pulcinella. It's right near the on-ramp to Super 7 on the way to my mother-in-law's house. And I remember we went there for an anniversary, like our first wedding anniversary. It was during COVID, so it was masks and whatever. And I got the ragu, and it was served with, I want to say pappardelle. I'm almost certain it was served with pappardelle. That or cavatelli. I want to say pappardelle. Boy, oh boy, was that good. I don't remember how much it cost, but it wasn't cheap.
I'm looking right now.
Oh, you're on the menu?
Yeah.
Yeah, get it going. Nick, what are you doing there? That's not a good bite.
No, I think it is.
No, you need a piece of meat on there. That's the whole point. You could even eat the sauce without the pasta.
I don't know. I'm seeing right now they have a mix and match pasta.
No. It was a dish. It was a dish, the ragu. It was an actual dish. It was under pasta.
I
No?
don't see it.
Nick, you could eat it whenever you want.
Is that an appropriate
Yeah,
bite?
that's fine.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay.
Where is it?
No, they must have changed the menu.
It was so good.
They got a short rib lasagna. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was called short rib ragu. It was made with short ribs. It was unbelievable. But it was just like that. And how much is that the short rib lasagna?
This is $24.
Okay, so that's absolutely worth $24 that plate right there.
It didn't taste like anything like crazy.
I told you.
No,
was
it's
good.
simple, but it's like it's something you'd order at a restaurant.
Yeah. No, it was fine.
It's restaurant quality. That's for
I
sure.
did not have any issues.
I told
Out of
you.
10?
I don't see why I can't get an 8.
Oh, I'll take an 8.
It's delicious.
I mean,
It's so.
it had a little spice to it, honestly.
It's the best part. A little spice.
Yeah, I like it. I like the little spice.
It wouldn't be Anthony without the spice.
You gotta have some spice.
I must say that, like,
So-
I'll still prefer my normal pasta to it with my normal sauce.
Hard to break habits, but I appreciate the 8.
You're gonna be the judge. You're gonna be the proctor, maybe, of a game that we play, and it's an idea I had. And what we're gonna do is we are going to get 5 sauces. We're gonna get homemade and then 4 types of jar sauce.
And you guys are gonna guess what brand
And
they are?
they're gonna be hidden. You're gonna set it up, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
guess what kind of sauce it is.
All right, I can do that.
Sorry, Mom.
You should have told me before we came today. I could have bought the sauces.
Yeah, it's a future.
I thought of
episode.
it as Anthony
As we
was
were leaving.
entering my
I see.
driveway. Anyway,
So again, Chris, give me your rundown. Give me your what are you tasting? Give me your layers. What would you change about it? I want to hear it.
what I love about this is the balance of everything together. Because the beef is really tender. If it was dried out, it would ruin this. The texture of the beef with this kind of ribbon pasta here is why it's usually served with a thicker, wider set pasta. And because if you serve this, let's take spaghetti, for example, that sauce is not going to get collected by spaghetti or cavatappi, any of those. Ziti might work because it's got it's a tube. Rigatoni would work with a bolognese or a ragu. Definitely, this is more of a ragu than a bolognese. It's incredibly balanced. The spice, if I got that at a restaurant and the spice factor was there like that, I would like it even more. Because I wouldn't be necessarily expecting it to
I
be
agree.
as spicy as it was. It's just fabulous, Ant. It really is. I'm not getting too much of any flavor. I'm not getting a lot. Like, I don't know that I would change that. The only thing I would do differently is I wouldn't make it as spicy because that's who I'm serving it to. But I like it. I would want it like
Yeah.
that. If I was cooking it at home, I wouldn't make it that spicy because Melissa, I would have to tell her it's a little bit spicy. And obviously, if Sabrina eats it, if she ate that, she would think that her mouth got hurt. That's just where she's at. She would say, I got a boo-boo in my mouth because it was spicy.
I don't know. I don't feel like it wasn't that spicy. Like, there was definitely a spice in there, but I don't think it was, like, warning.
Have you seen Sabrina?
I've seen her, but I've also seen Melissa. I don't think Melissa needs a warning for that.
I would tell her it's a little bit spicy.
I wouldn't say a warning. I would say like, hey, it's a little spicy.
And she would eat it, but I'd have to tell her. But Sabrina wouldn't, so I wouldn't make it that spicy. She wouldn't eat any of that, though, I don't think. Maybe. If it was with a favorite pasta, then she would. But then she would probably say, just pasta. New pasta. Want new pasta. It's just an excellent job.
Thank you.
Really excellent.
I appreciate
And I've
that.
got some at home.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the real dinner. And I might take that container, too.
So for those of you, we've gotten comments a lot where it's like, give us the recipes. We want to know how to make it. I have the recipe and how to make it. There are no measurements because you just measure with your heart. But bear with me. So very, very easy. First thing you want to do is you want to get a cut of beef, and it doesn't really matter what you want. You don't want anything too fatty because, again, you're going to want to boil it down, and that's when you get, not boil it, but you're going to braise it down. That's when it gets greasy, when there's a lot of fat on it.
You don't want, like, if what Ant's talking about with fatty steaks and meat is you don't need a ribeye. You don't need any kind of chuck
Take a
steak.
this is a shoulder, this is a
Yes.
something like that.
A London broil,
Exactly.
a top round or bottom
Yes.
round. I wouldn't even do sirloin. It's too expensive for this. You want something that's going to cook slow.
Yeah.
And for that, you can use short ribs.
Not exactly a stew meat like you see at Stop and Shop, but
It's the
it
same
works.
meat. Round stew meat is top round, just chopped up.
Yeah.
So you get a top round steak or a top round or bottom round roast, which is usually about 3 pounds, and that's how you get that texture. You won't get that if you cook filet, Mom. You won't get that because that's her favorite steak. I mean, it would probably turn into a sauce. With a steak as tender,
yeah.
it would liquefy in there. Same thing with a New York strip, even the ribeye. And you don't also want to use any diaphragm
No.
meat. You want to use something really muscular and not fatty. Anyway.
Yeah, so London broil, and it was a good thing about this is it was on sale at Stop and Shop this week, which is partially why I made this. Again, this is something you'd spend $20, $30 in a restaurant for, but let's make it at home. So this is something that I've noticed is always on sale at Stop and Shop, and it's London broil. I got about 2 pounds for, I think it was like $9 for 2 pounds, which is awesome. And you're just going to cut it up into, we did 4 big chunks, and then you're going to salt, pepper, heat in a large. If you have a Dutch oven, that works. If you have a steel, regular stainless steel pans, no Dutch oven, you can do this in a crock pot. So what we did is you're just going to pretty much sear the meat, get a nice fond on it. There's that word again. About 5 to 7 minutes. Then you're going to take the beef out, add a little olive oil, saute some onions about 4 to 5 minutes until they're translucent. Then you add the garlic. Garlic goes for about a minute, minute and a half. And you're going to do a little bit of tomato paste. You can get the squeezy one. You can get the can. Squeezy one is more expensive because it is sealable. So get the can. It's tomato. It's like $2. You can throw it out if you waste it, but don't waste it. A little bit of tomato paste. From there, you're just gonna stir it for about a minute, and then once you get everything all nice, lovingly together, you don't want to burn anything. You're gonna transfer everything into either leave it in your Dutch oven, or you're gonna put it in your crock pot. Most people are gonna have crock pots, so I will do that recipe. Put it in your crock pot. It's very easy. Just add everything else, which is your crushed tomato, your beef broth, about 1.25 cups, a little bit of balsamic vinegar, which is I like that in there. It adds a little, you can't tell, but it's a little bit in there. If you have a Parmesan rind from like when you use fresh Parmesan, cut that, just throw it in there.
I would imagine that the balsamic helps to give it more. Yeah.
Bounce.
Body.
Yeah. 2 bay leaves, and then we did a little bit of basil. That's pretty much all that was. A teeny bit of sugar. We did about a teaspoon just so you don't get too acidic. You don't want it too sweet. And then 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, depending on whatever you want. And then you're going to do all that, throw it in the crock pot. And then you throw it on low, medium low for 6 to 8 hours, depending on the type of steak. You pull the steak out, you shred it, you put it over some pappardelle.
It's a beautiful dish,
Easy peasy.
Anthony. How much did it cost you to make?
So altogether, you saw the big tray I made. I have some at home as well, too. So I have all that. So let's figure probably about 6 or 7 servings. It cost me $30 out the door.
Instead of 1 serving at a restaurant, it's 6 or 7. I've got this. I've got lunch tomorrow now at work. I've probably got a snack the next day.
I have probably 2 lunches at home and then another 2 that I'm taking with me. That's
So
7, yeah.
it's one of those things where, yeah, you pay the $30, but you've got all this food, and it's good food. It's real food, and it's homemade, and so 30 divided by 6 or 7 is way less than 30. Obviously, you're not going to be paying nearly the same per serving, and this is a big serving. This is what you get at a restaurant.
And again, this is something you make on a Sunday. You have your family over, you have your friends over. Make this on a nice, cool autumn Sunday, a winter Sunday. If you want something a little heavier, it is heavy. This is not a light pasta dish. This is heavy.
Right, it's
But it's
thick
good.
pasta and thick sauce. It's it's gonna really fill you up, but it's a comfort. It's a comfort food at that point when it's a ragu, and with the weather not changing yet, but by this time next month it will have started to change for sure, in earnest, if you will. It's going to be a beautiful thing to cook, and so we'll post this recipe. We'll post the ingredient list on our social media. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can make some gourmet braised beef and pappardelle at home for an affordable price.
$30 for 7 servings. That's what you want. Beautifully delicious dish. And Nikki liked it.
That's
Nikki
true.
liked it.
That's true. It's rare, but it's true. I have one question. Was that recipe in order?
What do you mean?
Was it like that in order of how you did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we'll post it.
No, I think it's good that you did it in order.
Why?
No reason.
Why do I do it out of order?
Sometimes you do.
Oh, well, I do everything in my whole life out of order. What else? Why is this different?
I mean, it's not anything different than this next segment because this is in no particular order.
Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Chris, I said Chris. I knew what you were going for.
I knew what you were going for, too. I just
I
wanted
feel
to
like it
milk
took you guys a bit. You really needed to milk it that long?
Yeah.
It could have been so smooth.
It's a big segment. It's a
Ugh.
big deal. I'm
so
a
full
big
of
deal.
yourself. So full of yourself.
In no particular order with Mr. Actually, it's Mr. Chris Walker now.
It's Mr. Walker.
Mr.
We're
Walker.
back to Mr. Walker. Listen, yeah, school started this week. Shout out to what?
I just wanted to ask Nikki for my water and I didn't want to glug in with what's it called? It's in my bag, brother.
I'm not going to edit the middle of this podcast today. I'm not doing it.
All right. Then let's not say anything stupid.
No, I'm just going to keep talking. I want to shout out my 6th grade students, all the new 6th graders at my school at Broadview. Just a big shout out to them. They crushed it the first 2 days of school. There were some tears. There were some lost lockers. There were some students with no locker. There were a lot of, am I in the right class? Where do I go next? And all in all, it equaled 2 really successful days and some comfortability now going into day 3, which is tomorrow. So shout out to the 6th graders for doing something mature and new, which is go to a new school for the first time. Most of them, since they went to school in kindergarten. It's their first new school. So big ups to them. They were all very shocked that I know all of the language they used. And I was like, it wasn't that long ago. Don't worry about it. All right?
Did you get any Mr. Walker? This is a Skate with the Ohio Riz toilet.
Yeah. The question that I get asked, I've been asked the most is, do I have W Riz? That's the question.
You just got to be like, I have 2 kids. What do you think?
Well, the funny thing about that is the kids answer the question for the other kid. They were like, he just told us he has a wife and kids. And I was like,
W Riz.
oh my God. But yeah, so no, they're it's great. It's been great. I really enjoy teaching. Well, I haven't taught anything yet, but I really enjoy being in middle school. It's a lot different than elementary school. It's like a completely different world. I couldn't if I was in kindergarten this year, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd probably be like, guys, I'm not doing this tonight. Instead, I was out of work at 2:45 today.
Can we do it Friday when I don't got class?
Friday I got class.
You got class on Friday?
I got school Friday. I'm off Monday for the Jewish holiday.
Jewish.
It's Labor Day.
Oh, the Jewish holiday's later this month. I'm tired, man. The Jewish holiday is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur.
That's coming up.
Yeah, they're early October, late September.
Anything for another day off.
They're on the radar. They're on, on the radar. All right. Anyhow, in no particular order today, there's a good, a bad, and well, there's good and 2 bads. While we're on the topic, what is that?
What is what?
What is in your hand?
The light.
Oh,
I don't even know
them
if they're on.
no, turn them
I'm
on.
probably blocking it.
I'm going to talk about the food portion of this because I saw and I heard, I'm not going to say where and I'm not going to say who, but I heard and saw people discussing today this revolutionary dish that they made, okay? I'm not going to tell you where and I'm not going to tell you who, okay? I call them dump meals, not because they look like somebody took a dump. That's not why. If anything looked like a dump meal, it was that.
True.
If in that sense, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the meals that are made in one casserole pan that everybody posts online and says this is so easy. This recipe is so easy. You start with a 2-pound brick of cream cheese and then add all this crap on the outside and put it in the oven for 40 minutes and the cheese melts and becomes a dinner. I hate those. That will not have a place in my house. Do you like those?
I don't like dump meals, but I like one-pan meals. Like, those are cool.
I'm not saying one-pan meals because, like, there's, like, the one
you're doing
skillet
like
apple chicken that I make, and the honey lime chicken is one skillet, and the lemon chicken I make is one pan. I'm not talking about one pan because there's a shared responsibility in that pan. The chicken goes in.
Yeah,
the
you're talking like
then it goes out. Then the sauce goes in. Then you add the chicken.
You're talking like the viral where it's like this is the TikTok the TikTok feta cheese one.
Yes.
Where it's like all it is cherry tomatoes, feta cheese, like a pound of uncooked pasta and a thing of chicken stock, and you just put it in the oven. Yeah.
A pound uncooked pasta should never end up in a casserole dish unless you know what. I don't even really like lasagna that much. Lasagna, I will consider, but I usually get the one that you cook and then you lay the sheets, so it's cooked. I don't like putting uncooked pasta in the oven. That's not where it belongs. It belongs in boiling water. So those dump meals are horrible, and so that's the first bet. And the is it addendum. Right, that's an addition. The addition to that is that those are the same people who put on the recipe online that it takes 30 minutes total, and then you're in there for 2 hours. Because you have to prep the tomatoes, you have to prep the chicken and cut it in 1-inch cubes, you have to go buy more cheese because 1 pound of cream cheese is not big enough, and then you're there for 2 hours. It's not a half hour. How does it a half hour if it cooks for 45 minutes?
I don't think I'll ever try a casserole. I've never never wanted to.
You know what Melissa loves at Thanksgiving? It's Thanksgiving.
Green bean casserole?
The green bean
Remember
casserole.
Did I make that?
Yes.
I will never try that in my
think you
entire
did.
life.
I
promise you.
It'll be good, I promise.
I will not try it.
You know what I tried at his? This is so off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When Thanksgiving comes around, you guys have a responsibility to make me try things. I'm not trying no green bean casserole because you got plenty of other choices that come before it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You have plenty of other options
With a B. Thanksgiving.
before some green bean casserole.
Listen,
I'm
you
not
know
doing
what?
it.
You know what
I'm not
Anthony
doing
made? You know what Anthony made for Friendsgiving 2 years ago? Last year was a
wash.
It went the way of that one episode of our show. Yeah.
The collector's edition.
It's in the box.
Well, we have
set.
two. We have two now.
It's
so.
in the extras. But anyway, he made the Brussels sprouts. Remember you did the Brussels sprouts? They were crispy.
The crostini.
The crostini. It was so good. Crostini is the bread, the little breads, the crunchy breads.
Okay.
It's like French bread that goes stale, kind
That's
of.
not what I'm making a face at.
The Brussels sprouts?
Yes.
I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I think the smell of them is horrifying.
I'm not trying cauliflower either. Forget about it.
Me neither.
Forget about it.
Neither. But the Brussels sprouts, you would try. You might not love it, but you wouldn't have hated it. It was so good. That was one of my favorite things you've ever made. Still, there's that. The ones that come to mind for him are the Brussels sprouts, that Italian sandwich. You knew I was going to say that. The Italian sandwich he made for Melissa and I at your house. One of the last episodes we ever did at your house.
It was the last episode. That was the week that we found out that you told me
that we were having Harden.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So it was back.
Yeah.
That was back a ways. And then the other one that you made that I really liked. I mean, I really love this. What was the thing you made recently that I loved? Not the Pete's.
The chicken with the peaches?
Yeah, like the dish he made up himself.
Yes.
The peaches,
I really liked that. That was the one. It was delish. This is right up there with the sandwich, though. That was phenomenal. Anyway, this is not in no particular. I'm sorry. I went on a rampage there about. I'm not telling you where I heard it or who I heard it from, but stop with the dump meals. Enough. I'm so over it. All right, here's the good. Aaron Judge is the good. That man is unbelievable. Forget about the Yankees losing yesterday. Whatever. You're not going to win every game.
And today.
I wasn't going to say today. The Nationals are on a heater right now. Whatever. Aaron Judge is the good of the week. He was named the AL Offensive Player of the Week for the past week. 8 home runs in 7 games. At one point in the week, 11 RBIs, 9 runs scored. Just an unbelievably blistering pace for this guy. I was lucky enough to be in attendance last Friday and see him hit one of those 8 home runs in the week on the way to the Yankees. 3-0 win over the Rockies. Shout out to the McCormicks for inviting me to that awesome event. That was really cool. You know where they went before? I was there too. I was just kind of in awe of it because I had only ever been there.
Monument Park?
No, I had only ever been there once, and it was really just in passing, and it was Stan's.
Really?
Yeah. I was just like, this is New York. I was like, this is the New York Yankees vibe and experience. I wasn't even drinking. I was just looking on. I was just like, it was after PD before school started, and I was just like, wow, this is like such a vibe. And then the song "Downtown" came on by Macklemore. Yeah, and everybody was singing it. The whole place was singing it. I was like, this is like, I feel like I'm in some kind of a movie. It was so cool. There was a guy, okay? There was a guy there that had an inflatable, I want to get it right. It was called a pre-wrap. Is that what they're called? I'm not looking at you like you're a pothead. I'm just like looking for validation.
Pre-roll?
Pre-roll.
Yes.
Pre-wrap is what
Bro, I didn't even know what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about like something to wrap my injury with.
A pre-roll. Pre-roll.
Yes.
He was walking around with, like, you know how they have the inflatable baseball bat? Well, it was an inflatable pre-roll. I forget the brand. It's the common brand.
Raw.
Yes, absolutely. See, I'm completely out of the loop. And it was like, it looked like it was lit on one end. And he was like, get your pre-roll, like get your beer, get beer here. Get your pre-roll, walking back and forth, and people were buying them, and they're just they're partaking in right there. Downtown, it was downtown. It was crazy. It was so fun. Anyway, the end of this week is it's not Russell Wilson, okay? Russell Wilson this is not a bad because of Russell Wilson. Before I tell you why it's I want to tell you a cool stat about Russ. Because we all talk so much garbage about Russ. And he is climbing a pretty exclusive ladder. He is set to make his 12th consecutive Week 1 start, which is the second longest active streak of that type. Do any of you guys want to guess who the first active leader is in opener starts, Week 1 starts?
I want to say it's Aaron Rodgers because he technically started last year. But how many years?
15.
So it's 15 seasons.
Russell Wilson has 12.
I think you have to be right. Unless I'm missing someone.
You are missing someone.
We are missing someone.
It's not Geno Smith. It's not
Mahomes.
Been around a long time.
It's Derek Carr.
No.
What?
It's Matthew Stafford.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought he might have missed one of the 1 year.
2009 to 2023.
So he started every Week 1.
That's
he was
insane.
drafted in 09.
Yep.
Is he starting this year? I would take it.
Yeah. And so is Russ. The is that Russell Wilson beat Justin Fields, who was the top quarterback for fantasy last year and cost me a championship
That was our league, wasn't it?
Yes. I had him on the bench.
That's right.
He was healthy. He was injured, and then he got healthy, and he was on the bench.
That's right.
And so he'd score 45 points, and then I'd put him in the lineup, and he'd score 4.
Yeah.
Or negative something one week. And so I was done with him. And so I had Russell Wilson, and I had somebody else. I forget who I had.
That's right.
I had somebody else that was good. But anyway, he's backing up Russ.
That's pretty bad.
I read somewhere that Fields was taking reps at other positions during training camp. Was that correct?
They're saying they might have him return kicks because you can now pass the ball behind, you can draw up plays and such.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying they might have Justin Fields be on the kick return team.
What is happening? This
pathetic.
guy was an unbelievable prospect. And the Bears, the poor Bears. Nothing good ever happens to that team anymore.
Listen, man, the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. We know this. I don't want to get too into it because Caleb Williams is my fantasy quarterback this year, and I need a good season. So hopefully he has like a Fields-esque season where they still suck, but he's pretty good.
I actually believe in that team this year.
Jack Ferguson would love you to hear that.
I think they look good on paper.
On papers. How many years were the Browns on paper good?
That's why I said on paper.
I could say something else about. I'm not going to talk about the Islanders right now. Anyway, the second bad finally is I'm tired of people arguing over who the best goalie is in the modern era.
Let's not. I don't want to talk hockey right now, so let's talk hockey right now.
Okay. Well, there was a poll. The reason why is there was an article on NHL.com yesterday, and it's still up there today, about who's in the discussion for top modern goalie of all time. Well, top modern goalie, I should say, not of all time, because then you'd have to include guys like Vezina in the conversation, Jacques Plante.
But that wouldn't be modern.
What?
That wouldn't be modern.
No, I'm saying if it was all time.
Well, you said top modern of all time.
I said I corrected it, and I said if it was all time, it would have to include those guys. And so it's just the best modern goalie of our time.
I don't watch a lot of hockey, but even to me, there's a clear-cut answer.
I'm going to tell you who the top two are, and you're going to tell me which their names are. I'm not going to name them. One of them, that there's only two that can be in the conversation. One of them was in the top 10 in Vezina Trophy voting for 19 of his 20 seasons. He has 551 career wins. He's got the cups. He's got the pioneering style. He's got the arrogance. That's all I'll say for now about that man. There might be another tidbit about him that I'm leaving out.
I was thinking Lundqvist, but he was like, nah, he has the cups.
The other guy has the most wins of all time at a whopping 691, an unbelievable 105 shutouts, and an incredible .912 save percentage over his career. And I'll give you a hint as to who both of them are. None of them are Dominic Hasek. None of them are Marc-Andre Fleury. None of them are Ed Belfour. None of them are Roberto Luongo, Henrik Lundqvist, or Curtis Joseph. So don't even talk about Cucho.
Okay, I got one locked in. Martin Brodeur.
Marty Brodeur is the one with the most wins, 691 and the 105 shutouts.
Well, who's the arrogant one?
I was thinking my two would have been Marty Brodeur and Flower.
Oh, I got one. Carey Price.
Everybody that thinks Carey Price belongs in the Hall of Fame, you need to take a sleeping pill. I'm telling you right now.
That's crazy.
He is not an elite goalie. First of all, he's done. Second of all, he was elite for a little bit. There was not a long stretch of time. People think he's God's gift to hockey. All right, he's got a beautiful family. He had a lot of struggles. He's overcoming them, yada, yada. He is not a winner. First of all, he's not a winner. He's not a winner. I'm a winner. I've won a championship, okay? He's not a winner. This guy... Everybody rides him so hard. He is not even close to being in that conversation. Not even close. You put Quick in front of him. You put Fleury in front of him. You put Hank and Luongo and several others in front. Dwayne Rollison was almost as good as Carey Price. Okay? All right? Not John Graham, but Nikolai Habibulin is in the same conversation as Carey Price. That's the level.
No, Habibulin's better.
Habibulin was legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary. You know who Nikolai Habibulin is?
No clue.
Oh.
You want to guess the first letter that word starts with? Habibulin.
Habibulin.
A K.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, baby.
The Bulin Wall, they called him.
That's awesome.
The Bulin
That's
Wall.
awesome.
And he had a wall on his mask.
He
Stanley
did.
Cup champion with Tampa Bay
Yes,
Lightning
sir.
in 03-04. Gives me goosebumps thinking about that. That was wild.
He had the sickest getup. I swear, his helmet and all that stuff.
And he did the thing with his eyes. Like
yeah.
The weird. He was such a goalie. Anyway, you haven't named the other one, and I'm going to give you a hint, and it's going to give it to you immediately. He's also the Islanders coach. Let's hear it.
Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Patrick Waugh.
It's
Yeah,
Patty.
yeah.
It's Patty. And I couldn't stand him until he was the coach.
Yeah, he's the
Patrick Waugh, 19 top 10 Vezina finalists.
Can we really call him modern though?
He retired in 2003.
That's 20 years ago.
Yes, that's the modern era. If I'm mentioning guys like Habibulin, Curtis Joseph, Ed Belfour, Roberto Luongo, yes, these are all guys that are retired.
Well, no, I knew that, but I figured modern era would be like 20 years or so. Yeah, it's 20. I know what I did.
The modern era is usually like the end of the 60s to now. Like they consider that
The
like,
end of the 60s?
maybe the 80s ish to now.
He just wants to say that the Islanders have a cup in the modern era.
No, and I'm not even going to say Billy Smith is up there. He's not on the level. I mean, Billy Smith is a Hall of Famer, but he's not on the we're talking about the best modern era goalie ever.
I think I disagree.
In
I think Lundqvist has to be in there, respectfully.
Hank doesn't have
Lundqvist
the
is not
titles.
a winner.
I don't care.
No.
It's not on him, though.
What do you mean?
That's not on him.
I mean, if he didn't let that goal into the Penguins, that'd be a goal, or
It's not on
that would
him.
be a win.
What are you talking about?
Where he let the goal in against the Penguins
When?
in the playoffs.
In overtime?
Yeah,
To win the cup?
yeah.
How can the Rangers play the Penguins in the Stanley Cup final?
Is
They're
that
in the
not
same
what it was?
conference. It's the Kings.
What's the king?
Martinez! It's over! Yes, it's the Kings.
I think you are delusionally in denial about Hank.
I want to go on record as saying I have nothing but respect for Henrik Lundqvist. He had an excellent Hall of Fame career, and he's a great analyst. I love when he's on. I hated him as a player, right, when he was playing.
No,
because he
listen.
was terrible.
You're
against
just
the
trying
Islanders.
to save yourself for when Saturday comes and you get a text from mom saying,
No, I'm not.
"Here you go, bashing the Rangers again." And I agree with her because
not
there is
bashing
no
the Ra-
chance Hank is not top 2
Yes,
in the
there is.
modern
I
era.
am
In the
not-
modern era,
I am not bashing the Rangers.
you're delusional.
John Bambees, but you want to talk about Mike Richter is up there. Mike Richter is Lundqvist-esque. Like Mike Richter won the cup. He's a champion. He's a winner. Even Glenn Healy's a
It's always
winner.
been Brodeur and Lundqvist. It's always
No, it
been.
has
It
not.
has always
That
been.
is
It
not
has
true.
always been.
You're Delulu.
I'm Delulu. You're Delulu.
I
No,
would
you're
take-
in denial because you hate the Rangers. You're in denial because you hate
But
the
I
Rangers,
just
and
said
I don't
it.
want to hear it.
But
I
I,
would take-
just said that Lundqvist is a legend and a Hall
Yes,
of Famer.
because you're trying to save
in
yourself.
his-
You're backtracking. That's what they call it.
I would take Fleury over Hank.
All right.
I would take Fleury
All
over
right.
Hank.
Let's get this back in gear. I don't know about that. He's got the wins, but he's played a boatload more of games. Listen, I love Marc-Andre Fleury, but that guy gave up so many goals to the Islanders in the playoffs in multiple seasons where and I know he's a winner. I know he's got the wins. He's got the cups. He's got accolades. I know he's got hardware. Trust me. But Henrik Lundqvist, save for save, I would take Hank in a game any day over, I almost said over Lundqvist, over Fleury. And keep in mind that Marc-Andre Fleury was a Penguin who I hate more than the Rangers. Okay? He was a Penguin. Couldn't stand. When Casey Cizikas scored an overtime goal against him in 2013, I almost died. He let in the worst goals ever. Listen, man.
So according to the moneypuck.com goalie tool, the chance that Henrik Lundqvist is a better goalie than Marc-Andre Fleury is 98.4%. So the expected incremental save percentage by playing Lundqvist instead of Fleury is 1.01591. The expected goals per game saved by playing Lundqvist instead of Fleury is 0.64815.
Okay.
So pretty much they're saying the very bottom of this statistically is Hank would win in a season if Hank was your number one and Fleury was your number one. Hank would win 5.4 more games than Fleury did.
All right, that's 11 points almost. All right, so that helps our point here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I agree.
I wasn't trying to argue.
Hank is great, but now do Henrik Lundqvist and Patty Waugh.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not putting Hank over Waugh or Brodeur. However, I think you can't just say the top two. I think you have to say the top three.
Then Dominic Hasek's 3.
Okay, now we're out of our minds.
Dominic,
that's not even a modern era. That is not modern era.
When did he play then?
I have no idea, but it wasn't this time.
He played until 2008.
No way. Lies.
Dominic Hasek
pull
played...
up the ticket.
I'm looking right now. He played until 2008.
How many games did he play in 2008?
Pulling it up right now. He played 41 games.
That's insane.
He had 5 shutouts.
That's insane, but I'm still taking Hank.
That's insane. His career is...
You're really trying to do that with me in hockey?
I'm taking Hank over.
He goes, there's no way. Like I didn't watch him play for the Red Wings in 08.
He was with the Wings.
I swear he played when TVs were like black and white.
He played in... His rookie season was 90-91, so he did play for a while.
With the Buffalo Sabres.
You're wrong.
Who was he starting?
Chicago.
Oh, I forgot he was a Blackhawk.
He was with Chicago from 90 to 92, with Buffalo from 92 to
He had a lot of bad times with Chicago, and that's why he went to Buffalo. There was a lot. He has the famous birdcage mask. He's right up there in that conversation. One of the most unorthodox goalies ever.
He had 13 shutouts in 97, 98.
Yeah, the dude's unbelievable. The Dominator. Anyway, Lundqvist is not... No. He's in the... I think I would put Lundqvist respectfully and with all due fairness in the top 10 modern goalies.
Oh, my God, bro. Are you crazy?
I think you'd have to mention...
You're not putting him top 5.
Maybe. I think you'd have to have Brodeur. You'd have to have Hasek. You'd have to have Waugh. You'd have to have Fleury.
NHL.com has... Patrick Waugh at 1.
And I'm taking Hank over Fleury.
They have Waugh at 1, Patrick Waugh at 1, Marty Brodeur at 2, Hasek at 3, no. Marty, hold on. That's all it says. Never mind. There were more names.
That's fine and dandy. But now you're going crazy saying top 10. And
well,
not top 4, top 5.
Well, you can't discount what guys like Ed Belfour did, Marty Turco, Yevgeny Nabokov. I mean, these are guys with a lot. I'm not saying Nabokov's better than Lundqvist, but he is very good. And Roberto Luongo, Curtis Joseph. These are guys they're winners, and they've got the stats. They've got stats to back it up. That's all I'm saying.
So does Vasilevsky.
Vasilevsky's right up there with these guys. Yeah, I would argue that Vasilevsky's had a better career than Henrik Lundqvist.
So delusional, man. That's
no,
actually
he's
so
not. He's
delusional.
Won the cup
That's
twice
so delusional.
in a row.
That's so delusional.
He's got cups. He's got cups. He's got Vezinas. The dude is a Vezina contender every year, and he's won. He's a winner. You have to remember that winning is everything. It is. It is. Carey Price is a loser.
This is so delusional. You are delusional. You are putting. Okay, so Bill Russell's the GOAT of basketball.
What are you talking about?
So Bill Russell's the GOAT of basketball.
I mean, he's up there.
He's the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT.
Why not?
Because
he's the most winningest.
But we're debating winners and winners here. No.
Okay, we could debate winners and winners all day. Bill Russell's better than LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Okay, so
he's the most winningest.
But now you have to look at the stats. You're looking at
good stats. He put up good stats.
You're not looking at. No, Henrik Lundqvist is not a winner.
You're putting way too much.
He's not in the top 3.
You're putting way too much on the rings.
He's not in the top 3.
Well, I think it matters in hockey. It matters more than in basketball. At least when it comes to a goalie.
I mean, there's not that many non-cup winners in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying. And Hank is absolutely one of them. I don't know. Is he? I don't think he's in yet. But I think you have to wait a few years. But he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he's in the. I would maybe put him. That's tough to do. In the top 50 goalies of all time. There are goalies from early on in the NHL who put up ridiculous numbers, and it was a very different game. That's why they separate it into modern and old eras.
Well, I'm looking right now, like all-time leaders in save percentage, because that's important. And goal. Well, what's more important, goals against or save percentage?
Save percentage, because that's how many shots you're stopping. That's a directly traceable stat.
Hasek and Ken Dryden were tied with 922. And then Tuukka Rask is a 921. Shesterkin's 921. Ben Bishop is 921. Sorokin's 919. Luongo's 919.
Wow.
Hank is down at 918.
That's not down.
Well, it's down on this list. It's an unbelievable number, but it's 12.
He's got a higher career save percentage than Brodeur and a higher save percentage than Fleury and a higher save percentage than Waugh in his career. I will say that.
What's crazy to me is looking at this now.
So basically, the winning isn't his fault.
No, he was the wrong end of a lot of. He was the savior of a lot of iffy teams. I'm not saying he wasn't. I'm not saying he's not a top 5er, but he's not in the top 2.
That's fine.
At least we could settle on that.
I'll deal with top 5.
I want to go on record as saying that he is a legend and is a first ballot Hall of Famer and is one of the best goalies of all time.
I'll deal with top 5.
Clean break. Let's talk college football, boys. That was a good segment.
Very good.
Okay, college football is back. Week 0 is over. Week 1 is here. We have a full slate. Instead of boring you to death like we did last year, and when I went through all 25 teams and predicted everything, I'm sorry about that. We're going to give you 3 pretenders and 3 contenders and 3 pretenders. And what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? That means a contender is underrated and a pretender is overrated. Let's get it started. My contenders, number 1.
You want me to tee him up for you?
You can tee him up.
I'll lead you in.
Lead me in, brother.
You lead me into my segment. And in no particular order. Now this is the Ant Show now.
No, lead me into Bet the Rent.
No, I'm not going to lead you into the segment. I'm going to give you the team.
Oh yeah,
talk about them.
Yeah,
I'll lead
absolutely.
you into Bet the Rent, don't you? I got you. All right. So for contenders, the first team on our list is Missouri. Ooh, and that's an interesting pick. So their quarterback. You know who their quarterback is?
I do.
His name is Drew Pine.
If he decides to
start.
Yeah.
And he's from Connecticut.
Is he from Connecticut?
He's a Connecticut boy. I believe he went to Weston. He went to one of those Greenwich towns. No offense. But Missouri, Anthony, why are they a contender?
Well, Missouri is a contender because they have a guy by the name of Luther Burden III. This guy is a menace. Think DK Metcalf type. He is the wide receiver 1 right now. And they also have a really easy schedule. The only real games they have a test, I believe it's South Carolina, Alabama, and I don't remember. I could pull it up. But they have a very easy schedule. Let me get it here. They start off against Murray State. Then they play
WestCon.
Start off against Murray State, then they play Buffalo, Boston College, Vanderbilt. A&M's going to be a tough game. UMass, Auburn's going to be decent. Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas. This team needs to win 8 games at least.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, they're returning 16 out of the 22 starters. It's insane.
That is how you win. That's how you get good. You build the program.
And, I mean, not for nothing. I understand not many people were playing in the bowl game. But Mizzou last year came in ranked number 8. They're number 11 in the preseason poll. They beat Ohio State 14-3 in the bowl game. Say what you want. Mizzou, I'm riding high on you guys. You broke my heart last year when you couldn't beat K-State. Or no, when you did beat K-State, because I had money on that.
Very good, Anthony.
Next.
All right, let's talk about a school that I've known so many people that have gone there to study. One of your old friends was there, Joey, right?
Yes.
Joey went to Tennessee.
Yes.
A friend of mine named Dylan is a senior there this year, I believe. And it's Tennessee. Tennessee, man. Vols. Go Vols.
Tennessee Volunteers, I think they're going to compete with Georgia for the SEC title this year because there's no East and West anymore. It's just a jumble. So it's the number 1 team in the SEC plays the number 2 team in the SEC. I think it's going to be Georgia, Tennessee. And the reason I think that is they didn't lose very much. They lost Joe Milton as a quarterback, and we know Joe Milton was kind of a problem. If you needed somebody to throw the ball 60 yards downfield, you had Joe Milton who'd throw the ball 60 yards downfield. If you need somebody to throw the ball 15 yards downfield, Joe Milton would throw the ball 60 yards downfield. So, I mean, the guy, he was a problem at quarterback. This year, I'm going to see if I can pronounce this right without looking it up. Nico Iamaleava? Iamaleava, whatever it is. He is coming in as a redshirt freshman. This was the guy that was just doling out passes in pajamas in a 7-on-7 camp. The guy's 6'6". He's a menace. Their recruiting classes are top of the line. They have a fantastic coach. I think Tennessee is going to be the next. I think they're next up.
You think they're going to compete with Georgia for the SEC?
I think Tennessee and Georgia is going to be the SEC game.
That's a good take. I like that take.
Again, favorable schedule. They have a lot of talent. Go Vols.
All right.
One thing. Let me cut it. I appreciate you. This is out there. I'm doing this for the clicks.
What clicks?
On the TikTok.
Oh, clicks. Okay. Oh, boy.
Dixieland Delight does not belong to the University of Alabama. I do not care that the band's name is Alabama. That song is about Tennessee. Tennessee is Dixieland. Next.
We've used that soundbite many times.
We have.
Some people in Connecticut even deserve that moniker. That I know. NC State is the... I'm just going to gloss over that. NC State is the third contender, yes. Anthony.
I think they're going to have a very good season. This is a team that you've seen them excel in baseball. They were in the Final Four. You've seen them excel in basketball. They were in the Final Four. And I think this team is going to squeak into the college football playoffs now that it's a 12-team system. The reason why they're bringing back most of their starting defense, 9 out of the 11 starters, they come back. Most of their O-line comes back. As we know, cohesion is very big when it comes to offensive line. You want these guys playing together from snap one to the very last snap. Those are your better offensive lines. Look at Alabama, look at Notre Dame, all that. And most of all, right, they're bringing in Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall. You've heard me dump on him a lot being an Appalachian State fan. He's a good quarterback. He's a very good quarterback. He's a game changer. He can run. He can throw on the run. I think he's going to be a true difference maker. I think they're the favorite to win the ACC.
All right, Anthony. On the pretenders side, the first one is very curious, and it's Alabama, who Dixieland Delight does not belong to. The Nick Saban-less Alabama.
Now, I think you hit the nail on the head. I believe it's Kalen DeBoer is their replacement coming over from Washington. Listen, Kalen DeBoer did a lot with Michael Penix Jr. and Rome Odunze and everybody else they had there. That offense was electric. It was a Pac-12 defense. It was porous. I think Alabama has a lot more talent on defense, but I don't think they're going to play SEC caliber. I think they're going to get outclassed on defense. What I am really excited to see, though, is I am super excited to see what he can do with Jalen Milroe. Because, like, if he was getting that out of Michael Penix Jr., like, like Milroe might be a favorite for the Heisman this year if DeBoer can unlock him. So it's one of those where, it's cool to see Alabama win, but it's like, let somebody else have a turn.
I'm always for let someone else have a turn. Maybe it will be Florida State this year, but you don't think so.
No, I don't. No, Florida State, they've already been, as this says in my notes, already been mollywopped by Georgia Tech in Dublin. They were frauds last year. They're frauds this year. They got significantly worse. DJ Uiagalelei, I think I said that right. Who cares? He's on his third team. I don't think this guy's good. He lost the starting job to 2 quarterbacks at Clemson, and Clemson ain't even that great. This is a fraud team. Yeah, man, they're not good. They're not good.
There's no way you said that right, by the way. I don't even know the guy's
Ukulele?
name. But there's actually no
I
way.
swear to God.
It's Ukulele.
It is, hold on.
His last name's Ukulele.
It's Uiagalelei. DJ, it's
Ukulele.
It's spelled Uiagaleii.
Okay.
Uiagalelei. He went to
a ukulele.
Oh, a ukulele.
He should have went with the Doyers because he was drafted to the Doyers.
Listen,
trash. I don't think he's good.
The last team on this list is one I couldn't agree more with. The fact that they're being projected as high as they are is a joke. And I am nowhere near the college football fan that really either of these guys are. What?
I don't think I've watched a college football game in my life.
Okay.
Well, you're about to, brother.
You're going to do it this fall. Anthony is a huge college football fan, and I'm not even close to that. But even I know that Miami is not a top 15 team.
Dude. They didn't really bring anybody new in. They have Cam Ward, who's transferring from Washington State.
Another
Cam
great
Ward,
goalie.
Not Cam Ward of the Hurricanes.
Cam Ward on the Hurricanes.
A winner
because
indeed.
it is the Miami Hurricanes. I don't think he's a needle mover, but yeah, they might be a little better than last year. Last year they went 7-6, and they lost to Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl. They got blown out at Yankee Stadium.
Rutgers.
So, I mean, I don't know how these guys are ranked. I really, really don't. They have a decent wide receiver. I can't think of his name right now.
I think they'll be unranked shortly.
They'll be unranked by week 4.
I think they'll be unranked by maybe even earlier than that, to be honest with you, because they don't have anything. They, like you said, they didn't bring anybody. I know this.
Yeah.
How do I have time for this? And I know Miami's not even that good.
Now, again, there's a lot of players we've talked about. Jalen Milroe, Luther Burden, a lot of very good players. I'm going to give you 3 players right now to watch.
Yes.
Not anything great. They're not going to win the Heisman. They're not going to win Defensive Player of the Year awards. But I think these are guys that you can impress your friends when they get drafted high, or you could start talking about them. Throw some prop bets on them.
I like your third one.
Yeah, right. Number 1, Torrey Horton, wide receiver, Colorado State. He's a grad transfer from Nevada. I think he's going to be the lone bright spot of that Colorado State Rams team. He's going to be their main target, so he's going to be seeing a lot of volume, and he's talented. Volume and talent usually works well when it comes to NCAA. Next up, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer here. We talked about how I enjoy Appalachian State. Nate Johnson. He's a pass rusher, an edge. This guy's an animal. As a true freshman last year in Boone, he had 7.5 sacks. He was playing high school ball, and the thing is, I believe he was the number 1 recruit out of South Carolina, like top 10, and he went to App State instead of Clemson. It was like a whole big thing. It was awesome. The only thing I'm afraid of is because he's a junior, I think he's going to have an unbelievable year this year, and then he's going to dip next year before he gets drafted. I'm hoping he stays with Appalachian State. If he doesn't, I would be a sad boy. Next, this is the one I really like. I feel good. And the reason why, it's the dumbest reason out of the three. It's a quarterback out of Southern Methodist University. They play in Dallas. They're the SMU Mustangs. Preston Stone. Guy torched American Athletic Conference competition last year. I think he's going to have a very promising start when it comes to his ACC career. I could see him throwing for 3,500 to 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. But when you just look at him, this guy's a quarterback. Like,
yes.
He has that like Colt McCoy look. He has even when he had that Kyle Allen look.
He's like the hometown quarterback.
Yeah, it's like if you've seen Friday Night Lights,
yes.
This is Matt Saracen.
Yes,
right here.
He's
not
the
talent, but
he's the quarterback.
He has the he fits the role and yes. So
not saying anything comparative, but like Peyton Manning.
Yeah, like if you look at him and like if you didn't know
Will Arndt.
Yes, Will Arndt.
Because Will Arndt is the quarterback.
You look at him, you're like, that guy's a quarterback.
100%.
It's like the typical like varsity jacket,
Uh-huh.
smoke show of a girlfriend.
Yep.
Throwing for 5,000 yards, got all the offers. Dad drives his dad's cool Camaro. Like that's what I see
Like
when
the '69 Camaro.
Dude, I'm gonna show Nikki.
While you do that, I love that. That was a good analysis, and it didn't take an hour like last year.
Yeah, that was rough. I went back and I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh no!"
I mean, it was fine at the time. But yes, how about this? We're keeping college football.
He's the quarterback. He is. He really is the quarterback.
Yeah.
He almost looks like Charlie Puth.
They
if
said
he was
could've-
an athlete.
They said he could have gone anywhere, but he wanted to build the SMU football program, inject it into my veins.
He's the quarterback.
I'm riding
He's
SMU
the quarterback.
hard this year,
Okay,
boys.
listen. WestCon is in a new conference. What is it called? Landmark?
They are in the Landmark Conference, which means these boys going to have to get on a bus to Pennsylvania a lot.
I got a problem with this move.
So do I.
I got a problem with this. I don't love it for WestCon. I don't love this move for WestCon whatsoever. There will not be a Corsair involvement this year. And so the storming of the ship is not going to be happening as much.
I didn't even think that. Oh, my God.
But
We have to hold on.
wait, no.
Go
Let
ahead.
me go. I was so close to it. But even though we're not storming the ship, we are still calling all the games. We're officially in for our second straight year and fourth overall year or whatever it is of calling these games. And so you're all three of us. Yes, all three of us are the voices of WestCon football. We're still working on how we're going to configure the three of us. But I'm so excited. It was just phenomenal to hear that we were confirmed.
It feels good to be confirmed to finally get media passes so we can do cool things.
Yes.
But,
yes, that has also been confirmed.
But one thing that I want to give a shout out for, I don't know if she watches it, but shout out to Miss Lori Mazza. Mazza. Shout out to Miss Lori Mazza because
Mazel tov.
there was somewhat of a caveat, right, when it came to, now Chris did all the communication so he can clarify. There was a caveat when it came to getting these passes. And it wasn't anything detrimental to us because at first I would assume she was like, "Hey, but wait, there's more," and you were like, "Oh no, what do we got to do?"
So she wants to be on the pod, okay?
Which you always have a seat.
And I told her, and you will see this one day during the season. She wants to make sure that the sports that we cover at WestCon are not just football because she specifically said that they don't tier their sports in terms of importance. They're all of equal importance, which is a great answer and which is true because as three former WestCon athletes in different sports, hockey, football, and tennis, you don't want to feel like your sport is less viewed by the school as less. And sure, the football games are the most heavily attended because that's football and that's just the way this country is. And that's totally fine. But you playing tennis for the D3 squad is just as important as me playing hockey for the D2 club squad, as you playing for the D3 football team. It all, and I love that. But that was Lori's thing, is she wants us to cover all Wisconsin sports, not just football. And I'm like, okay.
That's the best caveat we could have gotten.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is now.
And the other thing is that when she comes in, she doesn't just want to talk football.
Of course.
When we're doing the broadcast, when you listen and into the broadcast on WXCI, I will always give them a free
Does
shout
Wisconsin
out.
still have a hockey team?
Yeah.
Oh boy, do they now?
So why don't we all come in from our sport for when she comes in, and we can talk to her about our each individual
And
sport.
we can try to call the hockey games.
Yeah.
We could live cast them. We could bring our setup and live broadcast it on like YouTube Live.
Well, what makes me super excited about the hockey games, and this is something we'll definitely talk to Miss Mazza about.
Of course.
Did you read perchance the group chat when I announced
Of course.
it? WestCon, Lori, how did you do? Like that's my first question is how did you do it? Because when we unveil who they have pulled to lead the Wolves in their inaugural Division III full actual hockey season, accredited sport where they're going to get funding, the players don't have to buy their own pads
Or pay to be on the team.
Lori, I don't know how you did it. I don't know if you did it by yourself, but round of applause.
Say who
Absolutely. Okay, let me get his name. They have hired.
And by the way, when I played, yes, you had to pay to play. And my coaches were not accredited or any of that. Nice guys, but Coach Jurassic was a great guy. And Danny Carini was an interesting coach.
So, okay, WestCon has a gentleman by the name of Doug Friedman to be the head coach of the Wolves men's hockey team. Begins varsity of fall of 2025, so next season. Now, Chris, can you just explain to our viewers who one of the last players this man coached was?
Well, which one do you want me to name?
Oh, just the one that was most recent.
Wait, give me the whole list. Pull up the whole list.
Well, the person we're talking about is Macklin Calabrini.
Who?
Macklin Calabrini.
Celebrini?
I apologize. Who was the number 1 overall pick in this year's NHL draft.
But there's more.
Oh, boy, there's more.
There's a huge list. There's like a laundry list of guys.
Doug Friedman was the head. He was the director of hockey operations for the Boston University Terriers. That is like Coach Loth being replaced with Nick Saban. I don't think you get this, Nick.
He's a local guy too. He is he's from Greenwich, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I know he played professionally in the AHL. It wasn't the NHL. It was definitely the AHL. Let me see.
I mean, just active players.
Yep, AHL.
Just active players right now. It is. He coached 2 of my favorite players, and he coached 2 of my favorite and my least favorite player in the league. He has coached Shane Bowers, Charlie Coyle. That is one of my favorites. Jack Eichel, Dante Fabro, Joel Farabee, Jordan Greenaway, second of my favorite. AJ Greer, Matt Grizzlick, Lane Hudson, Clayton Keller, Charlie McAvoy, Matt Nieto, Jake Ottinger, Evan Rodriguez, Kevin Shattenkirk, Brady Kachuk, Alex Vlasic, and Trevor Zagris.
Which one don't you like?
Charlie McAvoy.
Otter, brother. I can't stand him.
Who?
Jake Ottinger?
Oh, Otter, yeah. That's why I said the list was extensive, and this is who's leading WestCon next season after this year.
So we will do what we have to do to get him on the pod.
Yes. All right, let's quickly just gloss over our third wild card in the AL because there's some positive changes in the AL in terms of teams. You wrote the word chutzpah in here. And I
did.
appreciate
Isn't that awesome?
But nothing's really changed in the almost the Western Conference in the NL,
nothing,
except for the team that's starting to come out of the woodwork a little bit.
Stop believing, by the way.
So yeah,
stop believing.
So we'll just touch on it quick. Royals. The Royals have tied the Guardians for the lead in the AL Central.
They could thank the Yankees for that.
Yeah.
And themselves. Because they swept, right? They swept the day-night doubleheader.
I believe so. I'm all aboard the Kansas City train right now.
Oh, me too.
Twins really haven't done anything. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Their schedule is a little tougher, but it's middling. They should be in good standing.
That no longer stands, by the way.
Oh no.
The Guardians
they lost.
Beat them today.
So today, the Red Sox. This was earlier today on Wednesday. Red Sox, they're 3 games back. I think it's a little too late for Boston. They're 4-6 in their last 10. They don't have the same chutzpah as the previous Boston wildcard winning teams.
3.5 games.
3.5 games. The positive side, Chris, you were about to say it. Positive side.
Well, I think the positive side is that the Royals and the Guardians are tied. But for the Red Sox, the Red Sox have a great future, okay? If the Red Sox don't make the playoffs this year, and I really think that 2 things might happen, okay? Jaron Duran is excellent. Okay, he got involved with the media a little bit. He got involved. He said some nasty stuff about the LGBT community to a fan. It just got caught on he was harassed.
Which funny enough, spiked his jersey sales. Continue.
Of course they did. I think that this team has a chance to overtake the Twins. The Twins are not playing well.
That's true.
For the first, I know that the games back hasn't really wavered, but for the first time since we started this segment 2 shows ago, I really feel like the Red Sox have a fighting chance here. All it takes... do they play the Twins head-to-head?
The Twins are about to lose tonight.
The Twins are losing currently. So it's going to go to 3 games again.
Yes.
And so they don't have the chutzpah, like you said, but I don't know. Something about the Red Sox has me believing. I don't know why, and I'm obviously not a fan of the Red Sox, but something about that team, not Devers, has me believing that they can make the wild card. I don't know that they'll do anything, but all you got to do is get in, right? And then in the in the NL, there's really not much change. Nick is saying the dream is dead.
It's dead.
Why are you saying that? Explain.
It's just so
Tell
dead.
me more. What dream?
The Mets.
Tell me more.
The Mets are 3 games back, 6-4 in their last 10. Their strength of schedule is going to kill the dream. That's why. I've thought of that all off the top of my head.
Well, who do they play?
They're playing 3 versus Boston, which you just mentioned. They're going to be a problem. 3 versus Atlanta, which is another problem. And they're not going to win any of those games, honestly. And then 3 versus Milwaukee. Go away and die. This isn't your season.
Then you forgot the 7 games against the Phillies.
Oh my God! 7 games left against the Phillies.
I didn't even see that.
So you got,
but yes, go away and die. This season.
If the Mets want to make playoffs, they have to win the series. They really need a sweep of Atlanta. That's it. Those are the 3 games right there.
Atlanta's about to win.
They could they could go 500 against the rest of the teams, and all they need to do is win 3 against Atlanta, and then they're tied.
It's over.
And the thing about it is that I don't think Atlanta's going to lose 3 in a row to the Mets. And I don't think the Mets win that series against the Phillies. Like, out of those 7 games, I don't think they even take 4. They might take 2.
I got a call back for you.
What?
Wake up.
There you go.
It's time to stop dreaming.
It is. The Braves are going to win that 3rd wild card spot most likely. The Cubbies, like you noted, Anthony, are the 3rd different team on this list in 3 weeks. They have won 7 out of their last 10. They're 5.5 games back, which is a lot of ground to make up. And they have to jump over the Mets, as we talked about before. But you never know.
It's the Cubs team. They don't really have a superstar. There's they have Dansby Swanson. I don't even know if he's playing. I think he's still hurt. But there's no real superstar. I think they have a really good core. Pete Crow Armstrong's coming on really strong. Bellinger's good. Who's the pitcher? Suzuki, I think. Say Suzuki. He's been really, really good. This is a team, again, where they just got Isaac Paredes. So like, this is a team where it's like, let's add one superstar, and it doesn't even have to be a superstar. Like, look at what Marcus Semien did to the Rangers, something like that along those lines where they can make a move and they can be dangerous in the next couple of years. But before we get to Bet the Rent, I do want to talk about a little more about the landmark conference, some of the teams we would get to call against.
Tell me there's a Pirate or a Corsair.
I'm looking right now. We're gonna do this together. So there's this Susquehanna Riverhawks, which is Susquehanna is probably.
I know people that have gone there.
So do I. It's probably going to be like a WestCon Susquehanna type thing because nobody else in this division is really that good. Anyway, the Lycoming Warriors. We have the Catholic Cardinals. We have the Wilkes Colonels.
Wilkes, not Wilkes-Barre.
Wilkes,
Just
W-I-L-K, yes. We have the Moravian Greyhounds.
These are some terrible mascots.
We have the Keystone Giants. And we have the Juniata Eagles.
I didn't hear you say Buccaneer.
There's no Buccaneers. There's no Pirates. There's no Corsair. So we really need to savor our time this season. It's as if we're losing a part of us.
We can still say it. If Bart can say block, blockity, block,
we can say storm that
then
ship.
we can say storm that ship, and I do mean boat. Okay? All right?
Boy.
Let's not get carried away here, Anthony. It's not as bad.
Well, Chris,
I'll tell you something, Anthony. Let's talk about this. It's been a long time. We took the summer off. He's getting loose. It's time for Bet the Rent. Bet the Rent. Anthony's got the Bet the Rent this week. I begin in October.
I begin in 2 weeks.
Okay, so Bet the Rent, for those of you that don't know, any new listeners, Bet the Rent, it's how we're going to turn your rent money enough to, let me figure this out.
We're going to turn the $10 into the rent money.
Yeah, $10 into rent money. I love that. But listen, baby, when it comes to gambling, you could only lose 100% of your money, but you could win thousands of times your money.
And if you win this bet that Anthony's telling you to take,
listen, baby, if
you
can
win, really pay the rent.
If you win this bet, you're good for the rest of the season. Why do we say that? I'm not even joking. Why do we say that? I'll give you the teams first. I'll give you the games first, and then we'll talk about
odds.
We'll talk about odds. So your first pick, we're taking West Virginia plus 8.5 at Penn State. State.
Matty Ice. Shout out Matty Ice, new dad.
Penn
He's a big
State
West Virginia guy.
Frauds. West Virginia, Morgantown is going to be on fire. They're canceling classes on Thursday and Friday. I believe it's Thursday and Friday because McAfee is going to be there. Because of the traffic, they're going to cancel it. So I'm, in the words of Pat McAfee, I'm hammering down West Virginia plus 8.5 versus Penn State.
Shout out to Matty.
Next up, I got Vandy versus Va Tech. I'm taking the Vandy money line. At the end of the day, Vanderbilt has to look within themselves and say, we're in a GD SEC. We're not going to let an ACC team beat us. Virginia Tech, Michael Vick, I don't care who you throw out there. Vanderbilt money line. Next up, Illinois State.
Put the dog out there. Sorry, that was really bad.
Illinois State at Iowa. This is going to be a snooze fest. Under 40.5. Snoozer. Next up, we talked about those frauds from Coral Gables. They're not even from Miami. Coral Gables. They're losing. Why? To whom? The Gators out of Gainesville. They're going to hammer down Florida Gators money line.
That's a tough one, right?
And what are we going to finish with here? Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, go Pokes. Listen, if these boys win and you hit this parlay, scan Ollie Gordon's QR code on the back of his helmet, Give them $5. Oklahoma State -9.5 versus South Dakota State. Let's run through everything again. We got West Virginia +8.5 versus Penn State. Vandy money line versus Va Tech. Illinois State at Iowa under 40.5. Florida money line versus Miami. Oklahoma State -9.5 versus South Dakota State. Now, boys, if you throw $10, that'll get you up here in Connecticut. That'll get you like 2 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
2.5 gallons of gas on a good day.
Yes.
If you throw $10 on this, you're walking home with almost 800, boys. This is a plus 79.47. Give it to me all day long. We'll see you on Saturday. I'll see you at the bank. Bet the rent, boys.
Florida money line, huh?
Florida money line.
Convinced me, honestly. That just convinced me.
Florida loves to lose games, though.
Florida
that they should win.
Florida also loves to blow out teams that they should lose to.
True.
So did the Islanders.
Hey, oh, whoa!
That wasn't a shot. That was a good one.
I got shrapnel there. Whoa. Dial it back there over there. Oh, my God. All right, Anthony. Very nice. Let Nick go first here.
Nicky, we've been yapping, brother.
You guys have, honestly.
Yeah, you haven't
All right,
talked very
Nick.
much.
I'm locked and loaded
Nick,
for this
your
one.
Grammys Grinder of the Week.
I've
it's
got
time for
someone
Grammys Grinder of the
very
Week.
special. Someone very special. I have not been paying attention to any sports in the past week.
That's okay.
In the slightest. So you know what? I had to pick a non-athlete this week, but I
did
consider
pick the
him an
non-athlete too. So
beautiful. This is going to be Ali Reza Farouja of France, chess player.
I love it.
The next,
Nicky, this is your second chess player.
dude. Chess is taking off right now. I don't know if you're with the program, but
I've
chess
played
is
since
blowing
I was a
up.
kid, yes.
Chess is blowing up at this current moment in time. St. Louis is becoming the chess capital of the United States. With that, they just had the Sinkfield Cup. With that, that's in St. Louis, $350,000 total grand prize to Ali Reza Farouja, who won the tournament. He's been nicknamed the Prince because he's the heir to the throne of Magnus Carlsen, who is the best chess player of all time. He drew against Jan Nepomniachtchi in the final round to get the win. After beating Ding Liren, who's the current world chess champion. In fact, let me tell you this. He's 10-0-4 against Ding Liren, who's the current world chess champion. That means he's lost to him 0 times. He's beat him 5. What? I don't know.
10?
Yes, 10 times. Drew 4 times.
Wow, Nick.
Nicky,
He beat Fabiano Caruana in the round before the final with the black pieces. It's harder to win with the black pieces for the people watching.
so why is the
Why?
website because they go second? Why is the website telling me that Fabiano Caruana is the GM, the Grandmaster current champion?
What tournament are you looking at?
I'm looking at the Sinkfield Cup 2024.
It's not. It literally just ended.
2024 Sinkfield Cup.
You're looking at the wrong person. Ali Reza Farouja.
Yeah, I see it right there. But why would they? They didn't update it. Update your website.
What are you talking about?
It's here is good.
Yes.
Here is not.
Oh, yeah. They didn't update it yet. Well, it's there. Ali Reza Farouja is my Grammys grinder. He is 21 years old. He was the youngest chess player to cross 2,800 ELO. The first person to do that since Magnus Carlsen did it.
So, Nick, you know how hard it is to become a Grandmaster, correct?
I do.
Can you give me a guess when Ali Reza Farouja became a Grandmaster?
I believe it was when he was 14.
He was 14 years old.
Wow, you're pretty studied at this, huh?
What
is ELO?
ELO is your rating, your points.
Electronic Light Orchestra.
I'm about 1,000 points because I'm garbage. You start at 900.
But you have to be good to start at 900, right?
No, that's just where your chess account starts.
Is that
at.
like writing your name on a piece of paper for a test?
Where does this get stored?
In the cloud.
Well, it depends. There's different websites. There's chess.com. There's your FIDE rating, which is international. There's your classical rating, which is your every tournament that you go to.
Do you play matches against people?
Yeah, I play 10-minute matches on chess.com.
So if you won them all, then your rating would go up, right?
That's exactly how it works. Yes.
You just have to keep winning.
Correct. But obviously, you play the people that are in your rank. So once you get to 2,700 rating, you're only facing the top chess players in the world. So you have to keep beating them to increase it more.
Can you play against one of the top chess players as a 1,000?
No. I mean, unless you get lucky, and unless sometimes they do live streams where they play against viewers for fun, but
gotcha.
You would just get walked
in a couple moves.
Yeah, 10 moves, walked.
I gotcha. Very good. Okay, my Grammys Grinder of the Week is the amazing sixth graders at Broadview Middle School. Like I said, they did something new. And at Start Middle School, and I really didn't understand. Everybody said it's a big culture shock for these kids, and I didn't understand it till I saw them for the first time yesterday on Tuesday come in. Some of they were really scared. Some of these people were frightened, and they all came back for day 2, and now they're just proper middle schoolers. And as somebody who never went to middle school, like you, never went to middle school in St. Greg's. I mean, you got a middle school, I guess, but I didn't switch with 1,089 people in my school. There was like 300 people in my school. It's a big jump from 5th to 6th grade in Danbury. It's a huge jump. So they should all be proud of themselves. And I know Felipe will listen. He made sure he has stopped by and said he's going to be listening and yada yada.
So as a kid that went to a public middle school, yes, it was in Watertown. It was a lot smaller. I'm gonna talk right now. So when people inevitably find out that you have a podcast and you're the 6th grade sweeps the 6th grade, point them to this and timestamp it. Okay. As somebody that's been through it, boys and girls, it's gonna be tough. Okay. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. It is gonna be probably the hardest 3 years of your life. Why? Because you guys are finding out who you are. You're not a little kid anymore. Your bodies are changing.
You're not a big kid though either.
Weird things are happening. You're feeling things that you had never felt before, and you're starting to smell. So please wear deodorant. Not a lot of Axe. I promise you.
Oh, the Axe is
promise
rampant.
you don't have to do it.
It's better than BO.
The Axe is running rampant already.
But be true to who you guys are. Find yourself, and just be kind is my number one thing, because you never know what other people are going through, especially in times like that, but also throughout life. So always be kind to people, and please wear deodorant.
Dude, somebody smelled so bad today.
That's all I have to say.
I don't know who it was or what period it was, but I smelled it. Was like,
is that the SpongeBob?
You bet it was.
It's the gray burger. The gray burger. That they gave to the food inspector.
Yeah. Gene Shallot. Gene Scallop. This has been riveting.
It's been a good episode.
All right, listen. Thank you for listening.
Oh my goodness.
Grammys Grinder of the Week is Aiden. I don't know if it's beer or burr, but for this, we're calling him Aiden Brr. He's the redshirt sophomore from Texas. If you're asking who is this guy, redshirt sophomore from Texas. He's a kicker, not the kicker. After missing one field goal, this guy drilled the game-winning field goal to send Florida State back to Tallahassee with the big, fat Dublin L. As you heard before, these guys are overrated, and Aiden proved it, kicking that field goal. The kicker, oh my God, we have a chess player, a kicker, and the entire 6th grade class. This is going to be a nightmare of a thumb.
I created one that you can't use any likenesses.
Use the whole school, brother.
Just find like some stock photo of 6th graders.
The picture should look like this. Sorry. Thank you for listening and watching to Sports and Spaghetti. This has been great fun. Follow us on Instagram at Sports and Spaghetti Pod and on TikTok at Sports and Spag Pod. I'm Chris, also known as Mr. Walker, and that's Anthony, also known as Anthony Panthony and Uncle Doctor, and that's Nikki, also known as Uncle Nicky. And Nikki Walker.
And Picky Nikki.
And Picky Nikki.
Yeah.
And here's this from Sabrina.
Click to subscribe. See you next video.
She's going very strong with this. Make sure you subscribe. Okay. See you next video. Anthony, take us home.
All right. As you just heard, that's Nikki. That is Chris. That is Chris's lunch tomorrow. I'm Ant. As always, take care of your loved ones. Wake up and put on deodorant. And as always, stay full.